I'm David Gasperetti, and I'm teaching a course called Russia and the West, Understanding the Modern Russian Soul. We're going to look at the last 300 plus years of Russian history. We're going to look at the way in which Russians have viewed the West in the 20th century. Then we're going to see, what do the Russians like about Western culture? What is it that they don't like? When we take our long historical view of Russians interacting with the West, we hope to come to a definition of the modern Russian soul. When students complete my course, I hope they have an understanding of why modern Russia does what it does. You can't understand that unless you understand Russia historically. You can't understand Russia's relationship with the West unless you understand that prior to Peter the Great, they were deathly afraid of any Western influence. That when Peter came to the throne, they then invited Western influence in. I would hope that my students would understand a lot more about how Russia has interacted with the West, but even more than that, why they interact in the way that they do. Generally, towards the end of the first week of classes, when the students have gotten to know each other, I have them over to my house for lunch. Sit down, share a meal, and talk. There's absolutely no agenda. Conversation can be about anything. Traditionally, in the second week of the course, the class goes into Chicago. Our main object in doing that is to visit a Russian Orthodox church. The church has an interesting history in Chicago, as well as being a great exemplar of this important aspect of Russian culture. The Summer Scholars Program is intensive, 2 weeks of classes, 5 days a week, 9 a.m. to noon, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Reading list is probably longer than anything they've ever read before. But these students, year in and year out, they do the reading. They not only read the texts, but they read with great sensitivity and insight. And all we have to do is turn on the TV, read a newspaper, or look on the internet, and there's a lot that's not going well in the world. But I look at these students who give up their time to study a very difficult subject, to do it with integrity, to do it with energy, to do it honestly. And I think 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they're going to be taking positions of leadership in our society. And I don't feel so bad about the news anymore.